Look how pretty this is. I love this little section of the beach right here. It's like when the tide is going in and out, it creates this little pool area by itself, and like this little sand dune. The spice must flow. Creates this sand dune. Have you ever attended a somatic dance event? Have you ever had like a vision quest? Um, I'm going to share with you. I really want to keep this short because the last time I tried to do it, it ended up being like almost 20 minutes long. Um, and we have the attention span of gnats nowadays. But I said that I needed to decompress before I shared my experience with the somatic event that I went to a few weekends ago. And it had been quite some time, y'all. Like, I'm 52 now, and I think the last one that I went to, and I don't even think that they were called that back then, was probably when I was in my 30s, early to mid 30s. Well, um, one thing I want to say that it took me a minute, not a literal minute, but it took me several minutes to get outside of myself, to let my ego go, and just to get into the Wu Wei. Hello, Alan Watts. Hello, that Taoist practice. Get into the flow of Wu Wei, and just be. And I remember at one point where I was just so lost in the water, that water element. And I didn't know this, but the DJ had actually, I like programmed her set list so that she went through all the elements. And so it was when the element of water came on in our headphones. I was like Bruce Lee, be water, my friend. I was water. So I went down to the water, like where I am right now. And I just stood there, and I realized that all of the elements, like when you break everything down, nitrogen, oxygen, all that good stuff, that we are water, we're the air, we're the stars. And in that moment, I realized that I was the waves, I was flowing literally, and that I could orchestrate the flow. That is what it started to blow my mind. I was like, oh my God, I am the maestro. I am the the conductor here of this water that's coming in and out of the beach. And then all of a sudden, and y'all, this is what happened. This is what green tea. This is what happened. Oh, that fabulous L-theanine. So I have a spirit team. We all do, whether you know them or not. And they just kind of just showed up, just emerged out of the water. All of them. It reminded me of the scene from The Lord of the Rings where the ghost soldiers are coming, they're coming out of the mist, the ethers, and they're coming to battle. And I'm like, oh shit, it's about to get real. And they approached me, and then they proceeded, this is going to be a little graphic, but remember, this is all spiritual. And they proceeded to saw off or saw open the top of my head, and lay open my scalp, so that it was my brain, and actually was my conscious, was exposed, and my ego. Hello, Carl Jung. You would really love this. And so all that was exposed, and it was right at my third eye. And all of them with their little spiritual hands, tiny hands, proceeded to just pull out my brain. And then as they were doing it, they were pulling, if you see the anatomy diagrams, like, with your central nervous system and all your capillaries and all that good stuff, how all the veins, how it just like spreads, like trees all throughout your body. Well, they were pulling all of that. It's just like tendrils. They were pulling it all out through the top of my head. And I kept hearing, and it wasn't painful. It was shocking. Because how often do you have a vision where somebody cuts open the top of your head? It pulls your insides out through your head. But they kept pulling all of this out. And as they're pulling it out, they're chanting. Dr. Bruce Lipton would love this one. They're chanting epigenetics, 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 so that I would know what they're pulling, what they're pulling out of me. And then they start to throw it into the water. And then my animal spirit team proceeds to eat it, which my animal spirit team are dolphins, whales, and sharks. And then I realized, I was like, oh, this is an alliteration. This reminds me of a form of Tibetan Buddhism that was created by a female monk. I know, that is wild. Was it 14th, 15th century? What was her name? Malub, Malubda? I think it's began with an M. But the form of Buddhism is called Chug, not Chud, not the 80s movie Cannibalistic Human Underground Dweller, not that movie, but it's Chug, I think. And it is when the negative energy, those demons inside of you, it's like you cut them out of yourself and you eat them. You eat yourself. And I was like, oh, wow, that's something you don't see every day. And so my spirit team was just eating all that negativity, eating the epigenetics that they were pulling out of me. And then they proceeded to and then they proceeded to clean the inside of my head, like scrub it like a car wash, just cleaning it. And I'm just standing there like this. So if there are pictures of me from this event and you see me standing there like this, that's what's happening. Spiritually, that's what is happening to me. Well, they got me all cleaned and scrubbed out, completely empty up there. They removed my brain. A shark ate it. I watched it. And then they go to close me up like a Pez dispenser and just put the head back down. I'm like, hold the hell up. You didn't put anything back in there. And they said, that was the whole problem, my friend. It's clogged up. It needs to be empty so that you can be a vessel. You can be a vessel, a channel, and be the spiritual being that you are, and not so weighted down with this physical density. It has to stay empty. You don't need no ego up in there. You don't need no epigenetics up in there. I was like, all right, okay, I understand. And then they just left. They just left me standing there trying to process, which has taken me over 2 weeks. And it was absolutely incredible. Now, I'm not saying that when you go to a somatic event that your experience will be as dramatic and graphic as that. Although, wouldn't it be lovely if it was? Wouldn't it be lovely if it was more? If it was more than that. Be open to spirit, that's what I'm saying. Be open to experiences, no matter how crazy they are. Healing comes in some absolutely wild and crazy ways. It's not just at the doctor's office, honey, where you're going to find healing. Mm-mm. So the last thing I want to say in conclusion, the last thing I want to say is, thank you. Thank you so much. Just thank you. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for spirit, and also for having a spirit to be able to understand it and absorb it and take it in and welcome it and appreciate it and celebrate it. But I also want to say thank you for the people that put the event on, because that's doing the deep work. That's what we're here for. The greatest thing that you'll ever do is to be a gift of service. Not to make money, not to put it, although that's nice, isn't it? We want to get paid for what we do. But the greatest gift you'll ever have, the highest calling, your purpose, the meaning that you give to life. Hello, Man's Search for Meaning, Viktor Frankl, if you haven't read it, is to be of service. And the ladies that put this on, and everyone that came out, and everyone that participated and built community, I'm so grateful for that. That's legacy right there. You want to know how to leave a legacy? That right there. Now go get busy. Go get busy having your head scrubbed out. and leaving a legacy.